Have you ever wondered why Indonesia, the largest economy in Southeast Asia, still struggles with slow internet speed? Despite major investments and a booming digital generation, the country's average connection remains behind its neighbors like Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia. So what's really happening, and what could change in the future?
The first and biggest reason is geography. Indonesia is not a single landmass, it's a vast archipelago of over 17,000 islands, stretching more than 5,000 kilometers. Connecting such a fragmented nation with fiber optics or undersea cables is both expensive and complex. Every island needs its own infrastructure and maintenance, making national coverage a monumental task. Major cities like Jakarta, Surabaya, and Bandung have seen huge improvements in internet speed. But in many eastern and rural regions, connections still depend on outdated satellite or wireless networks. This creates a deep digital divide, where some enjoy high-speed access, while others struggle to even get stable signals. The second issue lies in market structure, how Indonesia's telecom industry is organized and operates. Unlike some neighboring countries with just a few dominant players coordinating national infrastructure, Indonesia's market is highly fragmented, with several major and regional providers competing for the same customer base. Instead of collaborating or sharing resources, each company often builds its own towers, fiber routes, and maintenance systems. This results in redundant infrastructure in urban centers and underdeveloped networks in rural areas, where the return on investment is lower. The lack of a unified national strategy leads to inefficiency, resources are spread thin, and network quality becomes inconsistent. If these providers adopted shared infrastructure or cooperative frameworks, Indonesia's overall connectivity could advance much faster and more evenly across the archipelago. To address this imbalance, the government introduced the Pelopor Ring project, an ambitious plan to build a national fiber backbone linking western, central, and eastern Indonesia. In theory, the Pelopor Ring would connect all regions through undersea and terrestrial cables, forming the foundation of equal digital access nationwide. It's a visionary project, one of the largest in Southeast Asia, but the implementation has not been without obstacles. Maintenance and funding remain ongoing issues, particularly in remote areas where costs are high and terrain is difficult. Operational coordination between national and local governments has also slowed deployment. Some completed sections work efficiently, while others face delays or inconsistent performance. Despite these challenges, the Pelopor Ring has already begun to reduce the connectivity gap, though much work remains before its full potential is realized. The next factor is policy and regulation, which directly affect investor confidence and network expansion. Indonesia's telecom regulations have changed multiple times over the past decade, often introducing new rules for licensing, taxation, and spectrum allocation. This constant shift makes it difficult for private operators to plan long-term projects or allocate capital efficiently. In some provinces, companies face conflicting regulations between central and regional governments, adding layers of bureaucracy that delay progress. Meanwhile, countries like Singapore and Malaysia maintain predictable, well-defined frameworks that encourage investment and rapid technological adoption. Clear, stable policy environments attract foreign capital and make upgrading networks, such as to 5G and fiber-to-home, much easier. If Indonesia can streamline its telecom policies and ensure consistency, it could unlock billions in new infrastructure investment and technological innovation. Another key factor shaping the internet landscape is consumer demand. Indonesia is one of the largest mobile markets on Earth, with over 350 million active SIM cards and hundreds of millions of mobile users. However, most Indonesians rely primarily on mobile data, not fixed broadband connections. That means telecom companies focus on maximizing coverage and affordability rather than investing heavily in high-speed fiber. Prepaid mobile plans dominate the market because they fit the spending habits of most users, flexible, cheap, and easy to top up. As a result, the incentive to build extensive broadband networks remains limited. Until there's a larger demand for stable, high-speed home internet, providers will continue prioritizing mobile access over fiber performance. A shift in consumer expectations, toward faster and more reliable connections, could reshape the entire investment landscape. If Indonesia can overcome these obstacles, its potential is enormous. Network sharing could reduce redundancy and costs, allowing more efficient expansion to underserved areas. Stable regulations would encourage long-term investments, while better cooperation among telecom companies could lead to a more unified digital backbone. If fiber networks reach beyond Java and into the outer islands, Indonesia could unlock unprecedented opportunities in e-commerce, education, and digital manufacturing. In short, the path forward is clear, but it requires consistency, coordination, and a shared national vision for true digital transformation. The question isn't just whether Indonesia can catch up with its neighbors. The real challenge is whether it can build fast enough to keep pace with its own rapid growth and rising digital expectations. With a population of over 270 million people and one of the fastest-growing online markets in Asia, the stakes are enormous. If Indonesia can synchronize its infrastructure, policy, and consumer behavior, it has the potential to become the undisputed digital leader of Southeast Asia. Indonesia's internet story is far from a failure, it's a story still being written. From scattered networks and regulatory hurdles to major breakthroughs in speed and access, every step marks part of a larger journey. The nation's success will depend not just on technology, but on vision, cooperation, and persistence. Because in the end, Indonesia's digital future isn't defined by how far behind it once was, but by how fast it decides to move forward.